Yeah! Howdy, everyone. It's Sam. I hope you're all doing really well. If you're new around here, I hope I can get you to consider liking the content and subscribing to the channel. And if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very, very much for the continuous support. For the first time ever, North Queensland Cowboys have scored 40 points on the Brisbane Broncos in our own backyard in front of 25,500 people in a really, really entertaining game of footy. May have been 14 plus. Brisbane may have leaked 40 points, but Brisbane Broncos showed some great ticker this evening. Cowboys, on the other hand, man, personally, from the very first whistle up until maybe the 74th minute, I thought the Cowboys were always going to win this game. I felt that confident and safe in their abilities tonight. They looked on. They were so good. And the North Queensland Cowboys are the third team to watch in 2022 as so far as the premiership race is, as so far as that goes. Cowboys are going to make a serious claim to be there on grand final day with an awesome win over the Brisbane Broncos. This game was kicked off by the North Queensland Cowboys, kicking from left to right. And for the first 10 minutes, I'd say North Queensland Cowboys had the better of possession. I think they were the better team inside the first 10 minutes. But the Cowboys just couldn't execute properly that last pass to Kyle Feldt, or having Tamare Martin drop a ball off a Scott Drinkwater high bomb inside the first 10 minutes or so, and not capitalizing on that was, it was frustrating to watch, sure, but it was only 10 minutes in. And then all of a sudden, in the 11th minute, Peter Hiku looks behind him and goes, I'm going to throw it that way. And it goes 20 meters back into our in-goal area. And poor Chad Townsend had to chase after this bouncing kick. He missed it, unfortunately. And Billy Walters was the first try scorer in this game. And I thought to myself, they don't bloody really deserve that, to be honest with you guys. But hence, it was the Brisbane Broncos that were in front, 6 points to nil after 11 minutes of play. Colin Hess, then went off in the 14th minute for a HIA assessment. And I'm pretty sure he didn't return as well. Then in the 15th minute, there was some really good pressure being applied to the Cowboys, starting to wrestle back territory. And then Scott Drinkwater, we found ourselves in a attacking kick situation. Scott Drinkwater put up a kick, and then we were sort of trying to box them in, and Murray Taulagi caught a floating Adam Reynolds pass that was looking like for Katoni Staggs, and Murray Taulagi jumped up and he intercepted it and ran 20 meters to get us on the board. So the two teams scored, their opening tries were very fortuitous. It wasn't structured play, but in any event, it was the Cowboys that then hit back, and it was 6 points all. And then there was a penalty a couple of minutes later, and it made Valentine Hope's kick the penalty goal. And then the Cowboys were up 8 points to 6. And there was just some really key moments from Scott Drinkwater, for example, making sure he got his foot back to the in-goal area and making sure Adam Reynolds' kick was made to be a 7-tackle set for the North Queensland Cowboys. And then after that, Ezra Mam, I thought he was very solid. It was probably the first fair dinkum time I've seen him go around. And Ezra Mam was possibly Brisbane Broncos' best player this evening. So kudos to him. Ezra Mam put in a kick for himself, or he was taken out by Scott Drinkwater. Therefore, Adam Reynolds then scored a penalty goal as well. And it was 8 points all. And that was after how many minutes? 26 minutes. We were locked up at 8 points all in a back and forth contest. Breaks down the middle. there were massive hits. Did you all see the hit that Ezra Mann put on Scott Drinkwater this evening? That was one of the hits of the year. It was enormous. Then in the 29th minute, we entered Luciano Leilua, who played his 100th game, making his club debut for the Cowboys as well. And he looked switched on. He looked so good in Cowboys colours. It's unfreaking believable. And then Ezra Mann, unfortunately, he had a kick go out on the full. And there was another turning point where Jermaine Tanua-Brown demanded a captain's challenge because he thought he got stripped of the ball. And I think it was from Adam Reynolds or Billy Walters by the Broncos. But in any event, he challenged successfully. Cowboys got a penalty, and the Cowboys scored, were up 10 points to 8 going into halftime. And then there was a Selwyn Cobbo break just before halftime as well. And then it was a crossfield kick on tackle 1 from Ezra Mann for Corey Oates. Didn't get the bounce of the ball. And it was Peter Hiku that then offloaded it to Kyle Felton. He made some more meters, and it was just back and forth action in this game. And so anyway, we get to halftime, and it's 10 points to 8. And I left a Twitter note on about it, and I thought that both teams, the first team to come out and rectify these errors and take their chances, they're going to go a long way. It's not like it was a bad quality game, but it was still fun in a way. There was high quality, and the errors were just the other team's momentum would come from a wayward swing of possession. But it was just back and forth. But I thought, yes, the first team to really just not calm things down, but just make sure that they control the ball a little bit better, respect possession a little bit better. It was going to happen for them. And the Cowboys were the team to do that, because that second half Cowboys myth, well, it's not a myth anymore, man. They activated their second half, and they scored 30 points in that second half to the Brisbane Broncos, 18 points, 30 points to 18 in the end in the second half. And this try scoring kicked off because Billy Walters gave away a penalty. They were at times very ill-disciplined and disrespectful to the possession in this game, Brisbane Broncos at times. So in the 44th minute, it was Griffin Neame that just barged his way over off of a Reece Robson pass. And then we were up. So we were up 16 points to 8. And then literally 3 minutes later, the Cowboys were on the charge again in our attacking zone. And it was Reece Robson who flung it out to Chad Townsend, who then chucked it out to Scott Drinkwater. And Scott Drinkwater laid it on a dime, passing-wise, for Kyle Felt to score a try in his big return match, man. And after 3 minutes, we were up 22 points to 8 in the space of 3 minutes of game time, only 47 minutes in to the second half. And I was half putting me feet bloody up on the table thinking, here we go, boys, here we go. But it wasn't meant to be, because the try scoring stopped for approximately 7 or 8 minutes, and it was Corey Oates that scored a try after the Cowboys gave away a penalty, and that was from, I think it was from a scrum, but no, it wasn't. It was actually a really good line run from Corey Oates. And then from the 61st minute, Reece Robson scored a try from 10 meters out. That was just the Broncos knocking on the ball once more. In the 64th minute, in between the 61st and the 64th minute, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow came on, and by that stage of the second half, the Cowboys were 12 of 12 in completed sets. So that's more evidence and more testament to them getting in at halftime, making sure that they wouldn't make as many errors in the second half. And halfway through that second half, they were 12 from 12 or even 13 from 13 at one stage. They weren't perfect in that second half, though, ultimately. And then, in the 64th minute, the Brisbane Broncos were in their own half, and it was Jake Turpin that ran a shepherd or it was an obstruction given away. So again, ill-disciplined with the ball in hand, Brisbane Broncos. And then a minute later, or the very next set, it was Jeremiah Nanai. And what happened was Scott Drinkwater got the ball and Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow ran a decoy run. So he had just come on. And so the Brisbane Broncos weren't worried about Jeremiah Nanai. They weren't worried about anybody else except Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. But Nanai caught the ball off Scott Drinkwater, zigged, sagged, and found his way into the try line. And so at that stage, it was 34 points to 14. Robson and Jeremiah Nanai scoring 5 minutes apart from each other. So the Cowboys, I'm also thinking as well, the Cowboys are going up by sixes in 2022. And I just think that these extra penalty goals and the extra one that Valentine Holmes can get out from the sideline, Valentine Holmes kicking and conversion rate is doing the world of good, because I think if he missed two conversions or kicks at goal this evening, I think we could be talking about a bit of a different game, keeping the Brisbane Broncos in it. But it was just that 8-point margin with about 10 minutes or 5 minutes to go that really just made me feel more comfortable than what I probably should have. So it was in then so when Jeremiah Nanai scored that try, Brisbane Broncos executed a short kick restart and they gathered up possession, and it took them 5 or 6 minutes to actually score a try on the Cowboys. The Cowboys just couldn't get out of their own end. They couldn't get possession of the ball. Deep into the game, they repelled a desperate Brisbane Broncos attacking outfit for 6 or so minutes, continuous repeat set after repeat set in defense. So that's another piece of evidence to suggest that they are arguably one of the fittest teams in the NRL to be defending so stoutly the way they did for that period. But eventually the dam wall burst, and it was in the 74th minute where Corey Oates did score from a try where the Cowboys just unluckily had a ball ricochet off them and possession was given back to the Brisbane Broncos. And then from the next set the Brisbane Broncos had after scoring the try through Corey Oates, Selwyn Cobbo, this is a concern. Selwyn Cobbo just made a break right up the guts of it all. And then maybe a play or two later, he just charged from 15 metres out from the Broncos try line and then just said, "Get the hell out of me bloody way." And it was Selwyn Cobbo that scored a try. And the Brisbane Broncos scored 2 tries in the space of 3 minutes. Does that sound familiar so far in 2022? Fair income. But even though it was back to 34 points to 26, an 8-point difference, I thought we had done enough. I thought the Cowboys were the best team on the night, even though it was still 6 minutes to go and they were up by 8 points. But ultimately, it was then in the 79th minute where the North Queensland Cowboys scored a try through Murray Taulagi, and it was created by a scrum from a scrum-based play. Drinkwater got the ball and then gave a massive fend onto Adam Reynolds, passed the ball to Valentine Holmes, and Valentine Holmes so smoothly, man, passed it out to Murray Taulagi, and Murray Taulagi had about 5 odd meters to go or 10 meters to go, and he ended up scoring the last try. And Valentine Holmes again kicked the ball straight over the black dot, and the final score thus being 40 points to 26. I repeat, the Cowboys have just scored 40 points on the Brisbane Broncos for the first time in club history, man. Brisbane were in that game because of a couple of really random bad errors from the Cowboys that instantly gave them the points. So I think it sort of flatters them a little bit, because you know what? If the Cowboys' first 10 minutes was more fruitful, there's a world where they score about that. There's a world where the Cowboys score 50 points tonight on the Brisbane Broncos, in my opinion, man. They were so switched on, and it was led from the front again by Jason Taumalolo. Jason was a tearaway in that first half. He was the best player on the ground in that first half. His ball playing, making it go from sideline to sideline, but not willy-nilly. There was structure to it. They all knew what their job was. They are flinging that ball around North Queensland Cowboys almost as good as the Penrith Panthers are. And it's because Jason Taumalolo has added this passing attribute to his belt. You go back and watch him in that first half. He was absolutely outstanding and was the key to our attack and us looking so dominant in that first half. However, I don't give him the man of the match tonight, but we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. So before the game also, Kyle Felton, jersey number 22, was named to return from a leg injury, a lower leg injury, and he made a massive difference. Why? How? Because he ran for the most running meters in the end, running for over 170 meters in his first game back in 5 or 6 weeks. What a friggin' effort that was from Kyle Felt this evening. And Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow just doing the thing for the team and coming off the bench in jersey number 2. And it was Jake Granville that ended up getting dropped as well. I thought the Cowboys' discipline, 6 agains and penalties as well, was actually pretty good. I think they only gave away 4 or 5 penalties and maybe 3 6 agains in the entire game. And ultimately, their completions as well was at 80%. It was something like 40 from 32, whereas the Brisbane Broncos completed at 75%. The Broncos didn't play badly tonight. It was just one of them high-scoring encounters, and the Cowboys were just better at taking the opportunities in that second half, where they were a little bit unlucky. They were a little bit in the lights to execute those plays, like a pass to Kyle Felt that went over his head, or a run from Chad Townsend, but the ball popped out. For me, my bronze medalist is Reece Robson. Reece Robson tackled his heart out by topping it for the North Queensland Cowboys in this game. His service from dummy half was outstanding. Reece Robson scored a try as well. He was sensational for the club tonight. Jason Taumalolo running for approximately 160 meters, tackling 20 or 26 tackles in the end, maybe with 1 miss. And he also scored a try for himself as well. But for me, the man of the match for the Cowboys is Tommy Dearden. Tom Dearden dominated the calling better than he has done all year. He was always the last man to throw the pass. If not, it was Scott Drinkwater, or Tom Dearden was the first man to throw the pass to get the Cowboys into a really good position. While Chad Townsend still dominated the kicking game, I thought Tom Dearden also, for a young man, made the right play at the right time consistently, especially in defense. Tom Dearden was so good in defense. I still think he missed a few tackles, but obviously he's getting targeted. I don't usually do this in my reviews, but I do want to say a couple of things on the Brisbane Broncos. I thought Adam Reynolds was all over the shop tonight. He kicked the ball out 3 times, twice even, had an error in him too. And I think the big one to come out of it, I think the real disappointing factor in this game, if you're a Brisbane Broncos fan, is the lack of anything just from Katoni Staggs. That's 3 times this year Valentine Holmes and Staggs has come head-to-head, and Holmes has won the game in a landslide, in my opinion. That also includes actually State of Origin, so make that 4 times in a row. That's 4-0 to Holmes over Staggs. Katoni Staggs, I don't know if he was injured. I don't know if he was disinterested, but he just didn't go looking for the ball enough, and there was not good enough possession thrown his way. So if I'm a Brisbane Broncos fan, I'd be asking the question, why did you not get yourself involved more? So for other points on the North Queensland Cowboys, Murray Taulagi just did a really good effort to keep himself in the field of play at one stage. And he ended up running 130 meters or so. I didn't think he ran for that much, but he ended up getting quite Italian numbers under his belt. And then the forward pack, I think Luciano Leilua was very impressive again, coming off the bench. Tom Gilbert missed 4 tackles, which is unlike him, but he worked so hard tonight, man. I think he ran the ball for maybe 16, 17 carries or thereabouts, so he was pretty strong as well. Our bench tonight, Hammer, I mean, besides running that decoy run to allow Kyle Felt to score the try, I don't think Hammer did a whole lot, but then again, he came off the bench with about 17 minutes to go. And then who else? Griffin Neame scored a try, and I think he's a terrific player, and I really hope that we can sign him up for another 4 or so years, man. I realize we can't keep everyone, and we just signed up Luciano Leilua, but I think Griffin Neame worked terribly, terribly hard this evening. And you know what as well? Jermaine Tunua-Brown, I think that was his best game in North Queensland Cowboys colours. He got a lot of runs on the board, cracked 10, and I think that was his best game in Cowboys colours. He does make post-contact meters. He can run for 10 meters or so, but that was the first time where I really saw him be confident in himself and really just get in. And also, he pretty much gave us 2 points as well by making sure that Chad and Jason threw that captain's challenge to the referee. And I think Jermaine Tunua-Brown, man, I think he had his best game for the North Queensland Cowboys tonight. But Reece Robson, my bronze medalist, Jason Taumalolo, silver medalist, and Tom Dearden, for me, man, showed leadership, skills, defense work way beyond his years. And Tom Dearden, man, for me, was the man of the match tonight. 40 points to 26. That's the first time the Cowboys have scored 40 points, technically, in a couple of years. I'll have to double check that. I don't think they scored it last year, that's for sure. So what a time to be a Cowboys supporter. North Queensland Cowboys sit equal second again, technically third. And next week we have the bye. Melbourne Storm travel to Cronulla, and fingers crossed that Cronulla Sutherland Sharks beat the Melbourne Storm, because with the Cowboys getting those 2 competition points for the bye, they go outright second. What? What? And then the week after that, after having this bye, having the Origin players come back, we're the first cap off the rank in game number 1 of round 18. The Cowboys host Cronulla Sutherland. So we want them to do us a favour 1 week before they come up, and we cook them up for dinner next week, or in 2 weeks' time, sorry. So Cowboys and Sharks is the next game on the North Queensland calendar. What a freaking game that is going to be as well. Cowboys, man, they look so good. They look so good, and congratulations to them. Todd Payton, man, you are a friggin' genius, bro. And again, I think we were all too harsh on Todd Payton last year. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for the continuous support. Thank you for saying good day. And go you Cowboys. Go and have a nice bye weekend off, unless if you're playing Origin like Valentine Holmes is. Valentine Holmes, man, so good. And Jacqueline Dixon says, Rabbits are 12. Oh, I'm about to go watch the game now, actually. I took Parramatta. Bugger. All right, then. Take care, everybody. Go you Cowboys. Ride 'em high. Sitting in equal second position right now alongside the Melbourne Storm. You bloody beauty.